friends, it's the anniversary of the release of the Sega Dreamcast here in the United States, general North American region, of course. The Dreamcast itself was very ambitious, with a lot of titles on the console that were very, well, not seen at the time. Anyway, if it's not apparent already, I am a huge fan of the Sega Dreamcast, and I have one, and I have been playing it for over 2 decades, and I just want to express my love for the console by doing a tier list. Let's rank all the Dreamcast games and see where, I stand on each of the games and stuff. I'm not going to be doing every single game. I feel like that's a little bit, too much. There are, I think, over 200 games out there for the Dreamcast, something like that. I'm not sure if that includes Japanese titles. Now, full disclosure, I am not good at this game. I do love this music a lot. It's like a big marshmallow, sorta. I was almost at a near perfect as this one, too. Alright, Layla, here we go. This is gonna be fun. I love this game. It's so pretty. Doesn't this kind of remind you of, Ghost in the Shell a little bit? I love, the inspiration that they had for, making these characters and the levels that they fight in. She's so adorable. I like her. Aluba? Oh my god. Okay. I do have to, whoa. Okay. Oh, fuck, come on. Ooh, yeah. Throw down with her. Fuck yeah. So, I got a story I want to share with y'all. When I was, must have been 12, 13, 14, I used to go to a summer camp. And I think what I liked about it more than the camp experience itself was being a middle school kid on a college, university campus. UCLA is a very good campus. I like the campus. I like being on there. So there was this arcade that they had at one of the cafeterias or some shit. I don't exactly know what it was. Talking like a big campus, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. We're gonna go over this tier list. I'll put a link in the description for the tier list if you wanna, play along or something like that. Maybe share some of your results. So first one is this one, and I don't know what that is. So I'm putting under not have played yet. So you're gonna see a bunch of those actually. This one I have not played. This one I have not played. This one I have not played. This one I have not played yet. Okay, so I went ahead and just placed all the games I have never played onto the have not played yet section. And now I just want to make it clear that does not mean I will never play these games or I'm just not gonna play these games. I just want to make it very clear that if you don't see me talk about a certain game, or if it's on that part of the list, it does not mean I don't like it. I do plan to play some of these games in the future, like Toy Commander, Phantasy Star Online. I would love to be able to play a majority of these games, but my life is so short, and of course we have to consider the fact that I don't necessarily have all the space or the money for all of these games. So Skies of Arcadia, I think, is a really fun game. I think it is absolutely fantastic. Wow. Absolutely a thrill to play. I think it is one of those harder JRPG games if you're gonna try to play something that is a little bit more aggressive, something that is a little bit more adventurous in its storytelling. If you like One Piece, you'll like Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia is about air pirates who rob the rich and feed the poor. And I think just on that alone, we gotta put that shit in the S tier rank. I mean, come on, that's awesome. A JRPG about air pirates robbing the rich to the poor. It's literally a JRPG about expropriation. You can't get cooler than that. Next up, we're dealing with Bangai-O. Now, I played Bangai-O once, and I did not like that game. I think it was just because it was just kind of boring. I couldn't figure it out. That's probably a me problem, but because this is my ranking list and not your ranking list, this is going to go down to F. Sorry, y'all. Now, I have played Blue Stinger before, and I know that a lot of people do in fact like Blue Stinger. I've only played it once, and I kind of got frustrated once again with it. I'm gonna put it on D. Just because it's not necessarily a great game in my opinion, but that does not necessarily mean that I'm closing my mind off from it for good. I'm not putting it in F tier yet. I definitely do plan on revisiting the game at a later date. Now, Cannon Spike, that game, I mean, it slaps. Good, really fast-paced arcade game where you can play as these various characters. My favorite part is you can shoot cops. I mean, that's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. You can literally be like this little Red Riding Hood girl in like a fucking scooter and just shoot cops. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. That instantly goes up to S tier. It is a very fun game. It's also a bit of a challenge, and I would recommend looking into it if you are looking for like a really good, short but fulfilling Dreamcast title to fill your afternoon, maybe with some friends and a cold one. Now, Capcom vs. SNK is a game that I played a while ago, and you know what? I think it's cool because like it's a really colorful game. It's really just eye-popping and rather beautiful. I think they do a really good job of like making the backdrops look really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. I am not really all that obsessed with the game though, just because like it's one of those games that, I don't know, it just didn't stick with me. So I will put it in C tier because it is a really cool game with the visuals, but it didn't keep my interest for very long. Now, Crazy Taxi, that shit is gonna be just a hard one for me to say. It's hard, right? Because Crazy Taxi has The Offspring and Bad Religion in its soundtrack. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. Actual punk music in its soundtrack, albeit very mainstream and sold out punk music, but it's punk music nonetheless. And it does belong in a game that is extremely high paced and intense like Crazy Taxi. But on the other hand, Crazy Taxi is one of those games that is very, very short. Every time I play it, I'm done in 10 minutes. And, you know, sometimes I don't really want to be done with a game in 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep it at C tier only because it's kinda just a short shelf life, you know what I mean? There's also the sequel, which I will put at B tier, partially because there's a jump button now, and I mean, that in of itself is kind of fun to exploit. It does add some additional levels and additional modes, and I do think that like out of the two, that one is the better one. Now, Daytona USA is a pretty okay game for me. I mean, like, you literally are just racing in a circle. I think that's what they call drag racing. I'm not entirely sure. Don't cancel me in the comment section. I think my favorite, most notable part is like the statue, or rather the mountain that is carved to look like Sonic the Hedgehog. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. But because I never really got to play too much of it, just because it didn't really hold my interest once again, I'm gonna keep it at C tier. It's okay. Not bad. Now, Echo the Dolphin, I think, is another one that is quite fascinating because it's actually a really pretty game. And I think the whole concept of being a dolphin swimming through the ocean is really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. But again, this is one of those games that I will admit did not keep my interest for very long. Now, Dynamite Cop, well, oh man. Dynamite Cop is a game that I played a few years ago for the first time. Okay, so Dynamite Cop, let's do it. Oh shit. He has like 2 guns. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. So we all have food, and it's like we're fighting with food. It's a food fight, basically. It's like fighting food on. Fighting food on. Now this is funny. Lobster people? I like how I do a little dance every time I beat all the enemies. That's always awesome. Oh shit! Who are these little creatures inside the cages? What are they? What the fuck? Are they multiplying now? Okay, hold on now. This is racist. This is fucking racist. This is racist as fuck. There are some, like, racist stereotypes in the game, so I can't necessarily separate, like, you know, the setting from the gameplay. I'm gonna put this shit in F rank. Sorry, y'all. Oh man, we have to talk about this game, don't we? Evolution is a JRPG that I want to like. I want to like it so bad. I don't know, it just never caught my interest. The first time I ever played Evolution was when I was a teenager, and this was actually a non-translated version of it. Yes, I played a Japanese version of that game, and that was my first time ever playing it. So as you can imagine, I didn't get very far into the game, but eventually I did get to play a version of it in English, and needless to say, it's kind of mid. So I'm gonna keep it maybe like a D. And I did play Evolution 2. It does have a sequel, and I will put it up one. Now, Fatal Fury, that's a hard as balls fighting game. I mean, holy shit. But similar to Capcom versus SNK, the backdrops are really cool. Really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. I'm not much for like the fighting mechanics of it at all though. I couldn't care less about it. So I'm gonna put it at maybe like D tier for this one. I'm gonna put Gauntlet at like C tier just because like I have played the game, but I want to spend more time on it before I actually like have a fully fleshed opinion on it. Oh man, this one, I have a lot to say about this one. Grandia 2, oh man. The first time I ever played Grandia 2, I hated it. And I hated it because of the main character. The main character, I think his name is Ryudo, if I remember correctly.
Ah. You must be the Geohound, yes? We've been waiting for you.
A Geohound?
Hey, I'm Ryudo. This here's Sky. Quite a warm welcome for someone you're hiring.
What? Why are you being so rude?
Elena, please excuse her. Allow me to apologize on her behalf. Elena, you must get ready to leave.
Yes, Father. I'm very sorry for interfering. Please excuse me.
Excuses in women are equally tiring.
Ryudo is a fucking dick. He is an asshole. He is a fucking misogynist. He sees women as like stupid. So the main character is like horrifically unrelatable, at least like in my opinion. I continued playing it. After I became disgusted with it, I said, okay, you know what? Fuck it, I'll give it another chance. Maybe there's something to this game that I'm not seeing. And you know what I did? I didn't finish the game, but I got pretty far into it. And you know what? It's pretty good. It's a pretty solid video game. Basically, it's a JRPG about a Geohound known as Ryudo, and the Geohound is pretty much like a bandit who goes after wanted criminals or takes after like odd jobs, make a living with his hawk Sky.
Sky, over here!
Ryudo, I cannot take much more of this.
Quit your belly aching and fly, damn it!
And I think the reason why I had a change of heart with the game itself is for a few reasons. The gameplay is actually really good. I mean, for a JRPG, oh my god, the battle mechanic is so decent. Like, I mean, oh my god, it's good. Really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. It feels like I'm actually like kicking ass in the JRPG. It really just feels good. And the second reason is because even though Ryudo is such an unlikable character, there are a lot of women in the game. And the women do not fucking take his shit at all.
What's the big deal? It's just a rickety old church. Now, how about I obliterate this town?
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Are you out of your mind? Or are you just as sick and twisted as you look? Damn it! Such intense power!
Well, well, my dear. You make a rather nice plaything.
So I'm gonna fucking give this game an A rating. Damn, it is just so good. Now, I'm not very good at like shoot 'em ups, you know, like the reason why like some of these other titles are not being ranked, and that's because I don't really do shoot 'em ups all that much. Gunbird, I will say, is really cool because there's a lot of style to it. You can literally play as a witch while you shoot 'em up, if you will. That's going in B tier. Even though I'm not very good at the game, I always have a blast every time I play Gunbird too. So Hydro Thunder, I will put at B tier because like it is a really fun game. It's like one of the controls of like the controls of the game in particular are really good, especially considering that you are like literally motorboats racing on water. It's just the graphics are so nice too. The absolute the nectar goodness of the Dreamcast is like graphic chips and shit. Worth picking up. Definitely pick it up. Make sure you get the one with the hot new sticker on it though. Now, I have played Ikaruga before, but Ikaruga is a really fucking hard shoot 'em up, just like, you know, Gunbird. But the problem with Ikaruga is that it is really fucking strange. From what I can recall, you have to like change the color of your ship so that way you can attack certain enemies, and if you change the color of your ship, you can actually avoid getting hit by certain enemies. It's a lot to do with like the changing of the color of your ship, paying attention to the colors of the enemy. Complicated, especially for like a bullet hell game like that. I don't necessarily do well with bullet hells because when they're all over the screen, it's just like I don't know what to pay attention to immediately. I'm putting that right at D. I have played Illbleed before. Definitely worth playing, especially during the Halloween season. It's one of those games where if you play it, it's just like, you gotta be aware it's very fucking gory. It is a product of its time. Not very good graphics with it. Well, let's just put it simply. If you don't beat it in time, something very bad happens to your female character, which I will not talk about here in this video. And I don't encourage you to find out. I'm putting it in D tier. Oh, this next one. Oh no. We're gonna have to talk about this one.
Jet Set Radio!
Oh man, I have like a love-hate relationship with it because on the one hand, it's one of the most dope soundtracks in all of like the Dreamcast's library. Edgy, poppin' music. I mean, the Jet Grind Radio soundtrack is definitely worth looking up on YouTube. But on the other hand, the whole concept, while it is really cool, it's just not really well executed. Jet Grind Radio is a game about a bunch of like street punks in Tokyo. They have to tag up the walls to mark their turf. They're basically fighting against these other rival gangs throughout Tokyo. Not to mention, they have to get away from the police within a certain time limit. The reason why I'm hesitant to give it like unconditional praise is because the controls are horrible. I mean, honestly, that's really sad that like they did everything right up until the controls, and it's just like that's what's keeping me from continuing to play it. It's keeping me from wanting to even finish it. I've never beat this game, and that's because because the controls are just so bad. So I'm a little conflicted here because I like the aesthetics of it, I like the style of it, and I love the music of it. But like when it comes to the gameplay, oh man, I don't know. I'll put it at B tier because it does everything right except for the one thing that it is trying to be, and that is a video game. Next up, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is based on the manga and the anime. I am not a fan of the JoJo series. I'm just not. But I will say I have played this game before. It's actually 2 games, and you actually get to play as like all these different characters, and I think it's a little similar to like Shaman King, so to speak, although maybe I should be saying that Shaman King is similar to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But from what I can understand, there are like these spirits that kind of like fight along with like the characters and something like that, like an alter ego of some sort, similar to like Yu-Gi-Oh or like I said, Shaman King. I will put this game at like a B tier. It's not bad, especially for like an adaptation of like an anime manga series that I'm not even all that familiar with. Next up is Mucken X. I really wanted to like Mucken X, but the problem with Mucken X is, once again, say it with me, the controls. I can look past the cheesy voice acting that is in the game because it is so cheesy. It's kind of likable in a way.
Has it been awakened yet?
Soon, my dear.
I thought the Makken project was strictly confidential.
What's Kay doing here?
Chief Sagami wants her to see everything. That's why he brought her here.
I can even forgive like just the shitty graphics that are in it. Although I would say like the use of the graphics that they do use in this game is very appealing. Can't really endorse this game. I think it's one of those games where it's just like, because of the controls and because it's not really good in terms of gameplay, I'm gonna have to put it in D tier. I'm not very good at shoot 'em ups, as I said before. Mars Matrix is a shoot 'em up, and it's also notoriously hard. So I'm gonna put it in C tier, only because it's not my thing. I have played it, didn't come out from it liking it all that much, but you know, doesn't mean it's a bad game. Now, Mortal Kombat Gold is interesting. I've played a lot of Mortal Kombat games, and I'm not a fan of the series, but I did like the games Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and Mortal Kombat Deception. So I did try Mortal Kombat Gold on Sega Dreamcast, and I'm gonna be real with you. If you're looking for like a decent fighting game on Dreamcast, you may as well just play Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is clearly the better game of the two. I would say Soul Calibur is the better one. So I'm gonna put Mortal Kombat, you know, in D tier. It's not like offensively bad or anything. Marvel vs. Capcom is alright. I mean, I'm not attached to like Marvel at all. I thought like the gameplay was pretty fucking tight, and I really like the tag team element to it all. Just like being able to swap out characters on an instant. I like that. That was really cool. It's good. Really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. I'll put that in B tier because it's pretty decent. And because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is on this list as well, and I have played it, Plasma Sword. Oh my god. Plasma Sword. Motherfucking Plasma Sword, y'all. So I started playing Plasma Sword recently, and that's because I've heard about it for years and it didn't really catch my attention until I went back to Los Angeles, which y'all saw the video of me doing. I didn't get this on film just because I was taking a few days off. I went to Game Dude Rocks. I wanted to look at the Dreamcast games that were there because I wanted to see if they had anything worth bringing home. Plasma Sword was on there, and I actually was very interested in picking it up. But the problem is, it was like these fucking kids standing in front of all the Dreamcast games, and I couldn't like get a good look at all the Dreamcast games. I eventually left, and I found out that they were selling the game for like $69. Nice. That's a little bit out of my price range. I don't necessarily feel bad for not picking it up. That being said, I did play the game, and oh my god, it is awesome. Like, I mean, it is actually a really fucking good game. Graphically speaking, it's very kind of like limited on the polygon count. The character concept designs and stuff, and like the layout, it looks really cool. Really cool. It's good. Really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. Nothing comparable to Soul Calibur, but like some of these like character concepts are so intense that I just think it's worth playing. Not to mention, it has like a bitchin' rockin' soundtrack. I might get canceled on Twitter or x.com or whatever for this. This right here is going on A tier. That shit is honestly really good. It is a hidden gem. Power Stone. Power Stone is very similar to Super Smash Bros., although it is more isometric than it is like, you know, looking at it from side scroller. I think it's really cool because there's a lot of really creative characters in it. There are a lot of really cool, like, powerful moves you can do in it that are very spectacular. It's not a very long game. It's more of an arcade game, although you can play versus mode. I think you might even be able to play co-op, but I'm not entirely sure. It is a fun game to play, and I do think it is worth picking up. But regardless, I'm gonna put it in A tier, and then actually, y'all should check out the sequel, because the sequel, I would say, is even better than the first one. I will put the sequel in S tier. Next up, we have Project Justice. Obscenely rare, it's obscenely expensive, but it's good. It's like decent and good. It's worth playing. Something that I like about it is just its anime charm. Even though it is a 3D video game, you can do all these really strange, like, super moves in it, tag teaming some of your other, you know, teammates with, like, you know, the opponent and stuff. It's just really funny when, like, some of these weird special moves happen. I just think also it is just a very beautiful game overall. It looks really good. I'm gonna put it in A tier because of that reason alone. Yeah, I'm throwing Rez in like fucking A tier just because it is a really fun game. I think it sucks that it was only released in like Japan and Europe and not the US, although I think it was released on PlayStation 2 for the US. But it's one of those games that really should have like more notoriety than anything else, just because it is a very trippy game. It's a very musically based video game, especially for like a shoot 'em up, right? Because it's not necessarily like a side scroller shoot 'em up. You shoot from behind. It's just the fact that like when you shoot, you have to shoot to like a beat, and when you shoot to the beat, like, I guess you get more points or something. You just play better as a result of it. And I think it does a really good job of like keeping you engaged even for the short amount of like gameplay that there is. I think you do need to at least owe it to yourself to try it out. I have played Rush 2049 before. I played it on Nintendo 64 and I hated it, but I also played it on Dreamcast and holy shit, it is way better. So I'm putting that shit in A because it's actually better than the N64 version. Shenmue.
Father!
Dad!
Stay back, mule.
Just tell him, Dad! Dad! No!
Why?
I'll get you back for hurting my dad! Leave him out of this, dude. He has nothing to do with no fucking mirror or whatever.
Your friend.
Look at his teeth.
Keep friends. Those you love close to you.
A timeless fucking classic, y'all. It was the most expensive game ever produced at the time. The whole aspect of being able to look at things up close with extra like crisp details. And you know what? I think the story in Shenmue, even though it is very, very poorly acted, I think it has a lot of charm to it. I think there's just a lot of just absolutely cozy vibes coming from Shenmue that makes it worth playing. So because of its limitations and stuff, I'm going to put it in A, but it is a good game. I will say if you're interested in playing something that is worth your time, Shenmue is a great game for that. I'm going to say the same for its sequel, because I haven't really played it very much, but it plays similarly anyway, so may as well. Next up, we have Sega Gaga. What do I have to say about this one? I mean, for fuck's sake, dude. Sega Gaga is one of those games where I rarely ever fucking played it. Like, I mean, it's one of those games that has a language barrier. It has not been translated as far as I'm aware, not even by fans. And I think it was Sega projecting the fact that it was, you know, failing in the console market to like the likes of PlayStation and Sony. Not to mention, one of the characters in the game reminds me of Christopher Thorndike from Sonic X.
Soon we'll be back home, Sonic. Back home. Let's go.
Okay.
Sonic.
No. I fucking hate Christopher Thorndike. I'm putting it in F tier because it's not really much of a game as it is more of a JRPG that is trying to dissuade from humiliation on Sega as a corporation. But I will say that there are a lot of really good animated cutscenes that are worth looking up on YouTube if you're just interested in seeing like an interesting part of like Sega history and whatnot. Now, I'm not much of a Star Wars fan, but Star Wars Racer was honestly one of those games I had a lot of fun with as a kid. I played it at my friend's house, and honestly, it was so cool. Really cool. It's good. Really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. Oh my god. This is on the list. Nappletail is one of those games that is so fucking underrated. Oh my god. Y'all, Nappletail. I have Nappletail. I have it. I've never completed it, but I want to continue completing it because, like, I mean, just look at the cover. Like, it, like, aesthetically, like, it is absolutely pleasing to the eye. You play as this girl who gets sent to a dream world, and you pretty much have to figure out your way out of that dream world by restoring the 4 seasons of the year. Very beautiful because it was actually created by an all-female like development team. And I just think it sucks that like it wasn't ever ported to the US. This is a fan-translated version of the game. But I'm just gonna say right now that like this game, you need to try it out before you say anything about it. Definitely pick it up, play it, you know, I don't know, just go try it out, support it. It typically plays like a platformer, and so because of that, I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next up, we have Heavy Metal, and Heavy Metal is one of those games I kind of wanted to like, but the problem is that it is kind of mediocre. I don't know, there's not really anything remarkable to say about it. The controls weren't really all that good. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep it at C. It kind of reminds me of like Spawn Enter the Demon's Hand. Speaking of which, Spawn Enter the Demon's Hand, that game actually is a lot of fun. Every time I play that game, I just get a real thrill out of it. It's an arena fighter, but the levels itself are really creative. They're not like just flat arenas. You have to climb up and down and go all around. There's a lot of weapons, there's a lot of characters. I will say it's definitely a B tier, a solid like B tier. I'm just gonna say right now, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, they are some of the best. Like honestly, they are some of the best video games of all time. Now, I'm more of a fan of Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2. I think those are better than the Pro Skater series. You can't go wrong with Pro Skater series. You have some of the best soundtracks out of any video game ever. Like, I'm serious. You want some of like that good ass hip hop music. You want some of that good punk music. You want some of that like good like heavy metal music. You gotta fucking pick up Tony Hawk's Underground and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Although we're not ranking Tony Hawk Underground here today because that wasn't released on Dreamcast. Maybe we will someday. We're going to be keeping Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 at S tier just because of how fucking good the entire series is, including those 2 games. Next up, we have Time Stalkers, JRPG that I played a long time ago. It is a little bit on the cheaper side in terms of graphics, but I think it is similar to, you know, Grandia. I didn't get very far into it, and I think it's a little glitchy at times. I'm gonna actually keep it at B tier just because I did like the aesthetics of it, but it's not as good as Grandia 2. Next up, we have Sword of the Berserk. I almost beat this game. Honestly, a lot of fun because you get to play as Guts from the anime and manga. There's a lot of enemies that are very creative. I think there's a few downsides to it, however. There are no subtitles, and the cutscenes are sometimes hard to understand. Sometimes the cutscenes are really fucking long. I mean, they are obscenely long and sometimes even a little drawn out. But when it comes to playing as Guts, I mean, honestly, like, it's good to just hack and slash. It feels similar to Fable in a way. I never got around to beating it. I got to the part to where you have to run from like these tree trunks and shit. Trying to be like a hack and slash and not like a fucking temple runner, for crying out loud. And I did look into it, and that part of the game is like right before the final boss. I feel almost cheated a little bit. That's really my fault here for not being a pro gamer. I'm putting it at A tier, Soul Reaver. I'm sorry, y'all, but like, I'm gonna have to put that game at D tier. I hear a lot of people talking mad praise about the game. I couldn't even get past the first level. Again, you can criticize me in the comment section for not being a pro gamer, but that shit is just not playable for me. Next up is the Giga Chad game of them all when it comes to fighting games, and that is Soul Calibur. Listen, when I first picked up Soul Calibur, I did not think I was gonna like it as much as I do now. Like, I thought this was gonna be a pretty mid-tier game. It was not gonna hold my attention for very long. Hell no. This game, honestly, is like the best fighter in the whole Sega Dreamcast library. If you like fighting games, you absolutely like owe it to your fucking self to get Soul Calibur. I'm not joking. I'm dead fucking serious. I'm playing it on my gaming channel, and I am having a fucking blast. In the past, I have actually unlocked all of the characters, and all of the characters are a fucking blast to play as. I don't think I have a single bad thing to really say about Soul Calibur. It goes at S tier. It deserves to be at S tier. And the last 3 games that we are going to be ranking today are the Sonic ones, y'all. First up, we got Sonic Shuffle. Now, Sonic Shuffle is an attempt for Sonic to be like the Mario Party series, although I don't think it executed very well. There's a lot of like sound bites and actual like models that are borrowed from Sonic Adventure 1. I don't think they did a great job with it, so I'm putting it in D tier. Well, let me put it this way. I did a video talking about like, you know, which one I think is better, Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2. I would rather you go watch that video instead. So I'm just gonna throw both of these games at S tier. Alright everybody, what do you think of this list? Do you think that I did a good job ranking them fairly? Or do you think that I majorly fucked up? I should delete my channel right now, and I should never, ever, ever show my face in public ever again. How fucking dare I have a wrong opinion about this? Let me know if you disagree with any of this. Let me know in the comment section below. I want to know what your thoughts are on all blah, blah, blah. Tell me some of your favorite Sega Dreamcast games. Anyway, I am Skylar Sakurasabo. I am a Sega Dreamcast nerd / enthusiast. And until next time, peace out, motherfuckers.
All I have to do is cruise this coast.
I don't know about that, Sonic. This mod that I installed has been pretty abysmal so far. I mean, man, I don't want to fucking collect those rings. Damn. So cool. Really cool. It's good. Really, really, really cool. That is cool. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than that. I think that is really cool. Really cool. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of all. You can't get cooler than